Thank you, Alan. Wow, well, we are at a place where it's kind of both sides, right? Many, many years ago, on the very last day of the year, two twin boys were playing in the far north. They were sliding with their sleds up and down a hill, or down a hill, and then carrying their sleds back up the hill so they could slide down again, having an absolute blast. And they got so tired eventually that they just lay down on the ground and started to make snow angels. And by the right hand of one of the boys, Lars, a light seemed to appear. And so the boys quickly brushed away the snow and they discovered a tiny little sprite. And the sprite had two presents in her hand. And she told the two boys, twins, Lars and Hans, "I have a gift of the new year for you." Well, they thought their Christmas gifts were all over because it was New Year's Eve. So they took the gifts and they ran back into the house to open them. And they opened them and they were blank books with the year embellished on the front. And they looked at each other and they thought, well, we have to write and draw in these. What else could they be for? So the boys immediately started to write and draw on the first page of the book. And they were very diligent about doing that every day for a while. What they found was when they wrote, and the next day when they woke up, the page would automatically be turned and they would be stuck together. So they couldn't look back at what they had already written. They could only write on the page for that day. So the boys would write or draw each day, but after a while, it didn't happen every day anymore. It was maybe a couple times a week, and then a couple times a month. And then after a few months, the books ended up on a top shelf in the bedroom. Well, the year passed and it was New Year's Eve again, and they were playing in front of the Christmas tree with a fire, and who should pop up but the sprite? And she said, "Hello, boys, I've come to take the books back to Father Time." And the boys thought, "Oh no, we haven't written in them for a while." And they said, "Can we keep them for a while longer? Can we write and fill in some of those blank pages?" And the sprite said, "I'm afraid not. It's the end of the year and that book has to go back to Father Time." And the other boy said, "Well, can I at least look at the pages? I haven't been able to look at any of the pages I drew in or wrote in." And the sprite said, "Sure, I think that would be okay." So the sprite waved her wand over the books and the books opened and the boys were able to look at the pages, and lo and behold, none of the pages were empty. Every single one had pictures or drawings on them. And the boys said, "What happened to our books? These aren't our books. I didn't draw that picture of a rainbow," said Lars, "and I didn't draw that big black splotch," said Hans, "and none of these scratches and these black spots, we didn't do any of that. What's going on?" And the sprite said, "Would you like me to tell you?" And they nodded their head, and she said, "You see this pretty picture of the bird? Well, this picture showed up on the day that you helped your mom take care of your baby brother. And this bouquet of roses in your book, Lars, this came up the day that your brother was pushed down by a bully and you helped him. So all of these beautiful pictures are from the days where you were kind to one another and kind to each other. And the black spots, well, not so much. All these scratches on both of your books were the days that you weren't very nice to each other, that you fought, that you weren't kind, or you maybe didn't tell the truth to your mom or dad. These are recorded in the book of time, and they go on Father Time's bookshelf, and I need to take them now." And the boys were very sad, and she said, "Don't be sad. I have another gift for you, another brand new book." And with that, she gave them each a brand new book with the new year embellished on the front, crisp, clear, white pages. And with that, she disappeared. So each of you have been given a little book just to symbolize this idea of a new beginning and a blank new page for this year. And what we're going to do today is very different from what you normally would do on a Sunday service. We're going to do a little bit of a ritual and an experiential. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the elements and the Greek philosopher Empedocles. He's credited with the idea that the four elements are the root of all matter: air, fire, water, and earth. And he says that, and we know that spirit is also an element, and it's present in all of them, right? It's present in everything and everyone. There is no spot where God is not, as Ernest Holmes says. So we're going to play a little bit with those elements today. And I want to talk also about 2023. Here we are, January 1st, 2023. Do you know that in numerology, 2023 is the number 7. And the number 7 is associated with spiritual awakening. It's also associated with development and intuition and inner wisdom and self-awareness. So this is a year for all of us for huge potential growth, spiritual growth, personal growth. For me, it's about listening more and having a closer walk. I'm good with that. How about you guys? Yeah? Okay. So here's what's going to happen today. We're going to do some meditation and we're going to have an experience of all of those elements: air, fire, water, and earth. And spirit, we know, is woven through all of it. So we're going to talk and we're going to think and ask that inner wisdom self what it is that we need to bring into 2023 and what is it we maybe haven't totally left behind in 2022. And you're going to have an opportunity to do that today. And I'm going to guide you through all the parts of this so you don't have to worry about remembering anything or writing anything down unless I tell you to write something down. And Alan is going to offer his gift of music during the meditation parts and the parts where you're actually doing something and we have some silence. Ready? Okay, so let's get to it. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and we're going to first consider the element of air. And let's just take a deep breath. Just breathe. Our breath provides an experience of the element of air. Air is movable, it's changeable, it's light, it's dry, it's mobile, and it's dynamic. It represents the capacity for motion, and it gives flight to ideas and to goals. Think about it. We enter this plane of existence with a breath, and we leave with a breath. This is why we call breath often the source of life. Externally, air is seen as wind, and internally, it's that movement of breath. It's the circulation in our bodies. It's the nerve impulses. So become even more aware of your breath now. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Put your hand on your belly and breathe all the way into your diaphragm to where your hand is. Feel your diaphragm fill up and hold it for just a minute and then let go. And the next time you do it, let go with a whoosh sound. Do you feel the power in that letting go, in that whoosh? And now take your hand that's on your belly and put it in front of your mouth. Take a few deep breaths and let go. Feel the energy in your hand as you release that breath. Being very conscious and very aware of this breath that is moving through you, in and out. And now we're going to try a couple different kinds of breathing, power breathing they're called. The first is Kundalini breathing, where you breathe in and exhale in slow bursts like this. So try that a few times. Feel the energy in those short bursts of air. And the last breath we're going to use, the power breath, is the 4-4-8 breath. And there are lots of different combinations of breathing with numbers, but I like this one because it creates clarity and eliminates stress and tension. So the first thing we're going to do is breathe into the count of 4 and hold it for the count of 4. And then breathe out slowly to the count of 8. And just do that counting in your mind. Do that a few times. It's my hope that you've been able to feel the power in the conscious breathing. And when you're ready, you can return to your normal breath, more conscious and more aware of it than before, more aware of that life force that's moving through you. It allows your blood to circulate. It allows you to move through this world. It allows those nerve impulses to glide through your body. It allows your joints to propel your movement through time and space in this world. It's the force behind all motion. No matter what a goal may be that you might hold, your breath and being aware of your breath is a way to tap into that very life source and help move those goals along. It helps you focus and clarify your thinking. Rumi says, there's a place where words are born of silence, a place where the whispers of the heart arise. So as you breathe, just know that this breath is taking you to that place within where words are born of silence, where the whispers of the heart arise. And remind yourself that God is all that there is. God is breathing you just as you are breathing God. Just feel it. And say to yourself, God is and I am. As you breathe, God is and I am. Allow this breath to take you to that place of awareness of the oneness, that union that you share with Spirit. And be open today to whatever it is that life has to share with you this morning. Now I invite you to think of this past year, 2022. It's come to a close. There was some good and maybe some not so good for each person here. Take a few minutes to appreciate this year that's come to a close. The blessings and the lessons. I often call those blessings. Because everything is for us. Everything, no matter how it seems, it's for us. So look at your life, look at your health and your relationships, your home life, your finances, your work, school. Look at all those areas of your life, all the nooks and crannies of your life, and how they all unfolded in 2022. And certain things, I'm sure, are coming to mind for you. Appreciate all of it. I often say, bless it on its way. Ask that inner wisdom self, what do I need to let go of? What am I holding on from last year that no longer serves me? What can I leave behind this day, today, that will help me to live a happier, more joyful, more wonder-filled, connected life? So just take a few minutes and breathe and see what Spirit has to say to you about whatever it is that you can let go of and leave behind. Look at the roles you play, the different ways you show up. Grandparent, parent, partner, teacher, caretaker. All the different roles you play. All the ways you show up in your world. Look at the people in your life. Is there anyone that you need to forgive? Maybe you're ready to let go of an old hurt that you've been carrying around for a long time. Continue to ask, what can I let go of to embrace the new year, to have that closer walk? What is no longer serving me? So you were given a little piece of paper when you came in and a pen. When you have an idea of what it is that you want to leave behind and leave in 2022 and not take forward today or into this year, write it down on that little piece of paper. And if you need a piece of paper, raise your hand or a pen. Now, when you've written that down, fold the paper, if you would, and put it in your hands. And then I invite you to close your eyes again. We're going to take a little walk. Picture yourself in a forest with trees all around and light streaming through the leaves. See yourself walking among the trees, noticing the rocks, the various plants, maybe pine cones on the ground, perhaps an animal of some sort. As you just walk in this beautiful place, look around, see what it is that you see. And in front of you, you see a beginning of a small path. So make your way to that path and begin walking down that forest path, feeling the warmth of the sun as it streams through the trees, smelling that crisp, clean air, feeling rejuvenated and alive because you're surrounded by that life. Soon you see a very small hut in front of you, and it seems inviting and welcoming. There's a fire burning in the fireplace. So you walk up to the door and you knock, but no one answers. So you push the door open, and you see in front of the door, inside, a large table, and on it are boxes and gift wrap and ribbon. Choose a box and put all of your thoughts about this thing that you wrote down on that piece of paper in the box. See yourself putting all your thoughts, all your concerns, all your worries, everything about that has held you back up to now, put it in the box. Then take some wrapping paper and wrap the box, tape it up, and put a beautiful bow on it. And then you're going to pick it up. And as you turn around, you see a wise person. It can be an older person, it can be a younger person, it can be a man or woman, a wise soul standing there looking at you with a beautiful smile. And you feel the love and the presence that they hold. And you tell them, I have a gift for you. Something that once served me, but no longer does. It's my hope that perhaps this can be transformed and serve you or someone else in a different way. This is something that I have held on to for who knows how long. But today, it's become really clear to me that I don't need it anymore. I'm ready to let go of it. The wise person thanks you and holds out their hands. And as you place the box in their hands and remove your fingers, the moment your fingers remove from the box, fireworks explode. And the air and the sky, everything is filled with fireworks and light. Wow. Look at the power and the majesty in letting go. Now you feel so much lighter and there's so much awe and amazement in this experience of how just letting go of this thing that you've been carrying around for so long creates that sense of freedom. You thank that wise person as the fireworks come to an end and you walk back to the path. And as you walk, you notice that you do feel that sense of relief. Something that was a burden has now been transformed. It's become light. It's gone. Well, almost, because you're still holding that piece of paper in your hand, aren't you? Symbolizing how reluctant we sometimes are to totally give up those things that have really been important to us, often false beliefs. So let's get rid of it once and for all, okay? Yeah. All right, let's do it. So we're going to talk about the element of fire. Fire is hot, it's light, it's intense, it's powerful, and it transforms things. Externally, we see fire as the sun or flames, and internally, it drives our digestion and our cognitive processes. It's a powerful, powerful symbol of wisdom and knowledge, passion, and purification. It destroys, and out of the ashes, it creates space for something new and something beautiful. So in this next part of our ritual, we experience the power of fire and then water. So it's time to offer that thing that you wrote down on that piece of paper to the fire. Because even though that package became fireworks, something still remains. There's some part of you that's holding on to it. So let's get rid of it totally and completely. Let there be no further thoughts of this thing, no feeling of loss, just a sense of release and joy and openness. And while you're at it, how about committing to releasing any old resentments, any hurt, any grudges, regrets, or suffering? How about letting go of the past and anything that's holding you back from your highest good whatsoever? How about letting go of feelings of anger, unforgiveness, unhealthy habits, old relationships that you still think about? Let's give this piece of paper and anything else that we're holding on to the fire. So row by row, Mike is going to invite you to head out to the patio, and you will find Janice there tending the fire. Put your paper into the fire and consciously, well, wait, we're not going to go quite yet. I got to tell you a little bit more instructions. We're going to put your paper in the fire and consciously let it go. That and anything else you want to see burn. And then watch it burn. Stand there and watch it burn. Once it's gone, you're going to move down the patio to where we have Pam, and she has the element of water for you. What you're going to do is hold your hands out, and Pam is going to pour some water, warm water, over your hands. Because water is smooth, it's flowing, it's cool, it's movable, and it can be solid as well, but it transports, it connects, it provides protection and nourishment and purification. Both your body and this planet are mostly water. It's used in religious and spiritual ceremonies in every religious and spiritual tradition in the world, representing cleansing and purification, clarity, calmness, and healing. So as Pam puts water over your hands, see a new beginning. See yourself being cleansed of all of that old stuff. Water is the giver of life. And through water, we're connected to the wholeness of all of life. Ernest Holmes talks about how, and Rumi as well, how we're a drop of water in the ocean. Rumi says, you're not a drop of water in the ocean, you're the ocean in a drop. So connect with that. And then as the water washes over your hands, acknowledge that it's cleansing you. Acknowledge that it's cleansing not only your physical body, but your emotional and spiritual body. Then take a towel and dry your hands. Take a moment to be grateful for the healing property of water. And then as you make your way back into the seat, remind yourself that you've stepped into a brand new year. Clean and crisp. In front of you is a beautiful book with clear, crisp, white pages. And sit quietly with your hands open, ready to receive whatever this year has to offer you. And then we'll come back together, okay? the thing and you'll have the power. So we just did a thing. We watched that we didn't want to take with us into this year go up in fireworks. And then we let go of that part that we were still secretly holding on to by burning it in the fire and then cleansing all that residual energy. So it's gone. Do you feel it? Yes. Good. Well, you know, nature abhors a vacuum. So we have to put something in there to fill that space. So I'm going to invite you again to close your eyes one more time and ask that higher wisdom self what this new year offers to you. What is it that your heart is telling you to bring into the new year? Again, look at the different compartments of your life, the different roles you play, and listen. Really listen and hear what it is your heart is calling you to be or to do this year. Ask, what quality of God am I to embrace and experience more of in 2023? Is it love or peace, wisdom, beauty, joy, abundance, balance, order, unity, wholeness? Perhaps there's another word that better expresses or represents what it is that your heart is telling you this year is about for you. And now, because we are human beings having a spirit, we're spiritual beings having a human experience, we are tethered to this planet for a certain number of years. We're each connected to the earth. And the earth is heavy and solid, it's stable, it's consistent, it's rigid. It represents all solid matter and all the structure, the physical structure of the universe. Earth gives form to our human body and to all of creation. Remember, Adam was made of dust and clay. Man has forever used stones in ritual and ceremony. Man has used stones to build shelter and to connect with the energy of the earth because it grounds us. It provides for us. So the final portion of our ritual is about setting an intention, consciously embracing and experiencing it, one quality of God or one word that you can use as a means to ground yourself through this next year. So the center here has a gift for you. It's a little white stone. These stones are here from Israel, and the center has bought one for each of you. These white stones are often used in ceremonies. They are from the ground and the streets where Jesus walked in Jerusalem over 2,000 years ago. And the idea of this stone is to put that word on this stone and carry it with you, or put it on your altar. Allow it to be a touchstone, if you will, to remind you of this intention, this thing that we're filling that void that we created with. For me, it's wholeness. What is the word that is the word for you, the intention that you want to set moving into 2023? So these stones will remind you of the power of your intention. So once again, we're going to invite you to get up one by one. We'll start with the first row. You're going to go back to the table at the back where you picked up the book. And you're going to take a Sharpie and write that word on the stone. And then come back to your chair. And move back into the silence, into that place of communion with Spirit. Breathe again and allow your breath to take you to that deep place of connection. And think about and hold that intention in your heart. Let's go ahead. So let's have the first row go. And thank you, Marjorie, for directing traffic. And I think there are about 10 pens there, so we can have more than one person at that table at a time. Would you like to go? Would you like to go? Okay. So hold your stone in your hand. Do you feel it vibrating? There's a lot of power in that intention. This Jerusalem stone holds tremendous power. Feel what that feels like. See this intention unfolding in your life, in your roles, in your relationships, in all those nooks and crannies of your life. What does it look like? What does this thing that you've written on the stone look like as it begins to manifest and show up in your life? You've planted a seed. It will grow into what it is intended to be. Just as in Science of Mind, we talk about you plant a carrot seed and you get a carrot. You don't get a banana or a papaya, you get a carrot. So you have planted a seed. So start looking around. Look for it showing up in your life. Ernest Holmes tells us we always find what we're looking for. So if we begin to look for that quality of God, you will see it everywhere. Make a commitment to yourself to have an experience of this quality of God or this word today, this afternoon. Look for it and it will show up for you. So now that we've let go of the past and embraced a new intention, let's talk about embodying this ideal. Michael Beckwith has a very powerful recipe for embodiment. He says if you do this, you can embody an idea or a principle. He says first, you create a vision. Well, we did that, right? Okay, then he says start to be pulled by it. I trust that that's already happening. Then he says walk in the direction of it. Start with one thing that you can do that will create that feeling for you. And that's what I'm inviting you to do this afternoon. One thing that will create that experience of the word or the quality of God that you wrote on your stone. He says, look for it. Actively look for it, like what Ernest Holmes told us. He says, be proactive. Look for demonstrations. You'll see it because what you look for, you always find. I always say, the more you see, the more you see. Then he says, write it down. Well, we did that. We wrote it down on a stone, a very powerful stone. And if you like to journal, write about it in your journal. He also says, talk to people you trust. Tell them, 2023 for me is a year of wholeness and healing. I'm sick of being sick and tired. I'm done. For me, it's wholeness and healing. And I'm going to tell people, last year was last year. It's over. And this year is about health and vibrancy and my cells rejuvenating, feeling that life force running through me. So talk to people that you love about your intention, because then they can hold it for you and be excited for you also. And you'll begin to see it more and more. And then, this is a key piece. He says, talk to it. Don't just talk about it, talk to it. So here's an example. Yesterday, when I was thinking about this, I spoke to a woman who had her knee replaced on Tuesday, not even a week ago. Now, I had mine done a year ago, and it took me a long time to heal. She had hers Tuesday, and she's feeling great. Guess what? That's a demonstration of wholeness and healing. So I'm celebrating that with her because she's an opportunity for me to see it out picturing in the world. So look for it and then talk to it. Oh, I see you. When I see healing happening around me and I see evidence of wholeness, I see you there. Thanks for showing up. Oh, yeah. All right. Thanks for reminding me. Talk to it. Because Michael Beckwith says, pretty soon, you won't be talking to it anymore. You'll be talking from it. And that's embodiment. Allowing something to become who you are. So, today is an invitation to take that word that you wrote on this Jerusalem stone, this very sacred stone from Jerusalem, to be deliberate about your spiritual practice. To look for evidence of it out picturing in your life, to acknowledge it and celebrate it. Say, I see you. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for reminding me. to listen to that inner wisdom. Remember the number 7, 2023? It's inner wisdom, guidance, spiritual growth, and spiritual awareness. To embrace and embody this new intention and to have a magnificent year. Namaste. I love you all.